What's going on? This is DJ 7L from 7L Esoteric. I think growing up, I was definitely glued to the TV where I'd watch just MTV constantly, like, 83, 84, stuff like that. So I was really into music in general, but I think some of the first tapes I got, like a K-Tel breakdance album, instructional album that had Grandmaster Flash, Adventures on Grandmaster Flash and the Wheels of Steel. That record just hit me because it had elements of familiar songs I'd heard, like it had the Blondie in there and stuff like that. So, it really, I heard rap songs before that, but that was huge. That and Dougie Fresh the Show, I would always credit as being the two things that, the feeling I got hearing those, it's very corny, but it's unexplainable, I guess, you know what I mean? Which is the whole point of music. So, those initially hooked me. Was taking the bus from Salem and Haymarket, which is a suburb in Massachusetts, into Boston to go to Washington Street, which was one of the main streets at the time that had a row of stores that sold everything from mixtapes, clothing, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I'll do that literally on Saturdays, and I'd take all the money I'd made during the week and just go there and blow it. Literally. And I, to an extent, on a larger scale, I still do that. Whether it's buying records or stuff like that habit hasn't changed. But at that point, 89, 88, it was very, no internet, none of that existed. Everything was word of mouth. My father and my mother and father have been very, so even, to this day, they're very supportive in because I think early on, when, we did a few 12 inches, we put them out, and not right away, but our first initial big thing was we went to Europe for 30 days. So that was like, we did some records and, it was this and that. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're going to tour Europe. So to them, it was just kind of, wow. You know what I mean? So like they could see it in a way that he's doing something with it. You know what I mean? So, I think it was good because, sometimes like, oh, I'm going to do a show in Boston or we're going to New York, to them, it's probably just going to goof around with his friends. But like something like this, like we're doing something like, in Europe and, they're paying for it, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was, that was the first initial thing. And I think, since then it's, they see it as like a real thing. Trying to enjoy it and not like worry about what people say and all the, and I think for a chunk of early 2000, I would always focus on the negativity that was going around or, it's hard to ignore, but I think that was the biggest challenge, just ignoring the haters or whatever. But just, focusing on it. I do this because I love it. So, that's really all that matters. If one person likes it, then the SP1200. A lot of Soul Purpose, the beats I did were done on that. Just the sound of it, all the producers like Pete Rock and Buck Wild that I grew up idolizing. That was their main, instrument, let's say. So, definitely that, and I still have the same one. It's just, it's very tedious to try to do something on it outside of a drum beat, like sample time's limited and stuff like that. But definitely that. The MPC I liked a lot. And then, I have the Machine and stuff like that, like now. But definitely the MPC, I think, the SP is all-time favorite. It's the first one I bought, my first sampler, so it's kind of like, my first big, purchase, And even at that time, that's something that my friends who had studios were like, get that later, like, get yourself a board first, get yourself S950, something that's like you have more freedom with. But I was, everything I did was, a solid effort, I guess. And it seems cliche from like the mixes I do to DJing to production that, is, staying true to whatever it is I'm doing, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's it.